How we doing, green thumbs? For those that have not seen any of my videos, my name is Brandon, founder of Easy Swap Pots. While doing fall cleanup today with my brother, we had noticed that I didn't take care of one of the pots before the first frost. So there's something that we have to do with this, and we really only have two options now that it's the 1st of November. You're probably seeing snow right now in the camera, so that's proof right here that this is no joke. So like I said, we've got two options. One is to get this insulated and stored away in a garage, or we can plant this yet. Now, before deciding what method you're going to choose for the plant that you need to get into the ground, I would suggest doing a Google search and finding out what hardiness zone your plant is good for. Now, I do know that roses are fairly hardy and down to zone 4, so I'm going to choose to put this in the ground and take my risk, but I will show you both methods here first. Let's say we want to store this in the garage because it's a sensitive plant and we want to make sure it's going to come back next year. You're going to want to be able to insulate the pot and primarily insulate the bottom of the pot so that it's not sitting directly on the cold garage floor. Most garages in Wisconsin or Michigan will stay in the 35 to 45 degree range through most of the winter, so that is not a problem. Some things that you can do is take a plastic bag, throw like leaves, some sort of mulching material, even newspapers to help keep it up off the ground, and then set the pot inside of there. What I like to do is grab a styrofoam cooler because they're free and abundant, and this is going to provide my insulation that I need. All I would simply do is grab some pine needles from underneath our pine trees, and I would sit there and just help mulch a little better. And then the last part is just to make sure you get some on top of the soil. Now, the key to keeping plants in the garage is that you don't want them to dry out, but you don't want them to stay so wet that they're going to get root rot. So honestly, a good amount of mulching should have to prevent any kind of moisture loss. All you'd have to do is take this in, carry it inside the garage, and find a nice place that you can keep it and not let it be in the way. Option number 2 is to get it in the ground yet. Because I know this plant is hardy, I'm not afraid of putting it in the ground as long as I follow a few key steps. 1, keep it up against a building or a house where there's some protection and added warmth. 2, make sure there's a 2 to 3 inch mulch layer on top of the ground to prevent any kind of freezing or thawing on the soil root ball. And 4, I would like to cover the plant. So let's show you how you do that. First step, obviously, is got to dig a hole for the plant to go in. You'd want to make sure that you call your public service and know where your lines are before you're just digging. Now that we have a hole dug for the plant to go into, you're going to want to unpot. These are my Easy Swap pots. It means that I don't have to tip plants upside down anymore, and it saves a tremendous amount of time and physical labor. Right. And then, like I said, we're going to want a real heavy mulch layer around the base of the plant. That should be good. The one thing we do have to worry about is that critters will take advantage of this warmth and take advantage of this bedding. Some dryer sheets or something in there, or even mothballs would prevent critters from going in there and chewing on your bark or your stems of your plants. And then another two options. Most people won't have a plastic dome. I got lucky and got a couple of these off of Industrial Lights. If you don't have that, you can pretty much just use a chicken wire. Make sure it's big enough. And the only thing you're going to want to do is just to pack it in nice and good. Make sure there are some leaves showing. And then I just like to build up the mulch around. So this rose is now ready for winter. Let's hope it survives. I'll be checking it in spring. Thank you for watching. If you like our content, please subscribe. Until next time, adios.